Yeah, just really struggling to find consistency, particularly offensively. We haven't found any group yet that has been as consistent as I'd hoped we'd be at this point in camp. And today was, looked like $1,000,000 in our first team period in PNTN situations. Looked like $1,000,000. And then when we went team drives at the end, again, just found that there was just very little consistency, and defense kind of dominated that period there also. So proud of the effort. Today was very difficult on us. It's day practice 9 or 10, I can't remember. But we had our second round of COVID shots yesterday for a large portion of our team, and there was a lot of guys feeling under normal today, not normal. So it was they pushed through best they could, but we've got to find some consistency offensively, and that starts with us as coaches.
Coach, we'll go ahead and take questions if you use the raise hand option for head coach Hugh Freeze, and I'll kind of start with one here. I know from the one hand you look at the offense and you're discouraged by that, but are you encouraged by what you're seeing on the defensive side?
Yeah, that's the unknown. I told Ian the other day walking off the scrimmage, I never leave scrimmage situations feeling good. Seems like, I'm either feel like we scored too easy or move the ball too easy, or we stink on offense because we can't move it or convert third down. So, I'm hopeful that we're pretty good defensively. But that's you don't really know that until you get into the season and see. But I do think we have potential to be pretty solid on defense, and I hope that's some of the issues with our lack of consistency offensively.
Emily Austin from Blame Central.
Coach, I'm not sure how much you pay attention to the preseason polls and all of that, but do you use that as motivation for your guys and show them, when you have a team like Coastal Carolina who gets, I think, 22 or 24 in some of the preseason polls, and that's a team that you guys obviously beat in the bowl game?
Yeah, I hadn't even mentioned that. I could care less where we really are in the polls or not in the polls, because there hasn't been a game played yet, and our focus ought to be on how do we prepare today to win against Campbell, and hopefully if we attack it that way, then we'll get our opportunities against the Coastals of the world who have that like we did last year, and we were successful last year, and so maybe we'll get that opportunity again. But none of that really matters if you don't prepare for the day that's ahead of you. And so no, we haven't mentioned any of I haven't seen other than a few of you guys tweets or whatever that say we're being mentioned in it, but I won't talk to our team about that until it's earned.
This was good. Damian sort of left in the Lynchburg News in advance.
Hugh, what areas need to be cleaned up from a consistency standpoint on offense for you guys to start getting better?
I wish I could just limit it to one room. It is every single room. It really is. It can be a receiver that truncates his route and is not deep enough and it throws the quarterback's timing off. It can be a drop. It can be everybody makes their block up front in the front seven except for one guy. It can be the quarterback. It's everything. The running back making the wrong read. We had every single scenario today and Saturday that caused us to stall drives. So I wish I could. Maybe some of it's to do with when you're trying to install everything, you're running things against looks that aren't good. That's some of it. Where hopefully in the game we're good enough coaches maybe to not run into bad looks, and but sometimes that happens, and we just it's just been way too inconsistent for every room.
Stenson now. See you, Fred.
Coach, we've seen Stenson Moore working out with the wide receivers a lot. Has a final decision been made as whether you see him with the receivers this year or tight ends?
Yeah, he's going to be with the receivers this year. We need a bigger body put into the boundary some, and he made a good catch Saturday, made another really good one today, and when he got one-on-one in a team situation. So, again, he's just now learning the spot, though, and he's very inconsistent and raw at it. But, boy, he's got something to him. We just got to bring him along and probably have a smaller expectation on the package that he handles when he's in the game. But we do think he has potential to make a difference for us, particularly in some red zone situations.
Back to Emily.
Coach, do you have any injury updates up to this point?
I can't even remember what the last one that we talked about. I mean, we've got Dejon Anthony had a meniscus surgery repair, so he's probably 3 to 4 weeks on that. Caleb Coleman's still recovering from his surgery on his knee. J Max got a little growing strain that we held him out today. I think at Frank Boyd, hamstring. I think that's all that we held Malik out today just to make sure his arm's fresh. But he was out at practice. We just didn't let him go to the live reps. I think that's it.
Trayshawn Clark, is he doing better?
I'm sorry?
Trayshawn Clark, I think he had a calf strain last week. He's doing pretty.
He sacked us about 5 times today, so I think he was fine.
And then Javon Scruggs and Deion Biggins.
Scruggs is fine. It was more just like holding. You know what some of these guys can do, and so you just want to make sure they're really healthy, like he and Malik and some others. So it was he could have practiced every practice. Biggins has a hamstring irritation. I expect him to be back Thursday of this week.
Next, let's go to Damian.
Coach, you were able to get Jake Hardy in from Auburn, and we asked Scott Simons last week. He said he's not sure whether the impact he's going to make is this year or next year. What do you envision out of the Auburn transfer defensive line?
I think he's going to be ineligible this year, so it'll be a red shirt year for him, but we're excited to have him. He's been very, very impressive, and he's going to be really, really, if he handles business and gets himself in top shape with this year he has to learn, and I think he's a big-time player for us.
Go ahead.
We've heard a lot about Skylar Thomas in the secondary. Having a guy with that type of experience, obviously not here. He's still, getting adjusted to Liberty and everything. But having a guy with that type of experience, how big can that be for that secondary to take that next step forward?
I'm real pleased with Skylar. He loves ball. He loves to work. His motor is 100% all the time. He's a mature kid, tackles well, is physical. I think he's a great addition to us, and I think he's going to make us, better at that nickel spot for sure. And he adds depth with Treadwell and and Darko and Chance Smith. Those are really our 4 nickels, and I think, we're pretty solid there.
Just going back to the offense, being that you have such a veteran group out there, do you worry a little less going into the season that they're going to get it together?
I'm always optimistic that we can find a way to score some points, but the film never lies, and right now it's inconsistent, and I've got to fix it. So maybe that's a weird way to answer it. Am I going to be optimistic that we can score some points? Yes. Am I frustrated a bit that what the film will show when I go watch it here after lunch? Yes. So I don't know if I'm answering your question. Sound kind of double-tongued there, but both are true.
Emily.
Coach, last one from me. Have there been any players that have really stuck out to you this camp maybe that fans have to look out for, even new guys or transfers in that have really raised your eyebrows this camp so far?
Yeah, well, you mentioned Skylar. He certainly is. He's raised my eyebrows, and he gave me a good whiplash to my neck that I've had therapy on the last 3 days because he hit me. But he's a good player, and I think Deron Lowe's one that we're counting on to be very solid at one of the corners. Story Jackson, I think, continues to improve. It's slowed down for him a little bit with all the new verbiage and installs. So really, really, excited about what those transfers can add to what already was somewhat of a veteran group. Steven Sings has really, really stood out, as has Akil. So I think those two young kids are going to play quality snaps for us. But offensively, we're basically returning everyone. So I don't know if it would be a shock to anyone. Any of those guys, maybe T.J. Green, I guess, because he just didn't play last year. I think he's gonna. I think we're really three really good, solid backs right now. Shadro had a great practice today.
Amen.
Coach, to bring up, I didn't see Darrell Johnson out there, and saw Cedric Stone wasn't dressed out to practice. Are they okay?
Yes, Darrell's in COVID protocol. He didn't feel well yesterday and got tested. He tested negative, but they wanted to do one more test, so he's in that protocol. And then Ced was he was one of the worst ones this morning of the second COVID shot. He was throwing up some this morning, so we let him just watch.